Dumela magaetsho. I'm Tsholo Rabotsho. Welcome to Cocktails with.
Tsholo, how are you doing?
Good thing, Lekai.
Alright, dang man. What are you doing for us? What are you creating for us today?
Gompieno, I'm gonna put together a gin cocktail ke bitsa gingelina.
Why?
Because ke gin cocktail.
Does it have ginger?
No, it doesn't have ginger. It has mint. So the reason why I had to just be over, exaggerate the name because hakino bojalwa. So yeah, making up for that.
Oh, let's start creating this.
Okay, so go simolola gingelina. You have your
So
glass.
you're making a mocktail.
No, I'm gonna make a drink with the alcohol and then you're gonna taste it. Because I host people, I do events, I host people. So drinks in
I'll get you a taster.
Cool. So go simolola ka vodka, the most important ingredient, obviously. Ice. Okay, ice. Then we have our
Is there
ice.
like a method that you follow or you're just freestyling?
The method is in the madness. Because madness is a method. So this is Tata Yang's. Okay. All right, there we go. So you start. Hey, tlhaloganyo. Go lo ha go tsamaya ka the vibrations. So you start with the ice, and then how fetsa ka ice o tla ka minty, and then tshwantse o e betse because it's her flavor. Let's ke itse dilo tse. Tsenya minty.
And your approach to the gin is this how you approach life in general?
Oh, yes. Yeah, you get me. This is exactly it. I don't overthink a lot. I just go. I just go as I go. And now, where do I go? Okay, this is lime. Apparently, this is lime. I'm gonna put the lime there. And then this is a very secret ingredient that you drink and...
It looks like kale.
Boma, 5 years of your life you add on. I can think about longer, but if you're that kind of person, I've got you here. Because also nabojalwa. So re tlo go tsenya berry.
Based on that, so you're not here for a long time, you're here for a good time.
City girls alive. You get it. You get me so much. I love this. You get me so much.
And what brings that philosophy on?
I think because I'm Aquarius. I'm someone who has a lot of interests. So, a lot of interests, you can't really be rigid in your thinking or your lifestyle. So I'm constantly that person who's just making it as I go. But the nice thing is if you're aligned, it looks like you actually know what you're doing. So that's the secret. So then we have our gin, the most important ingredient. Alala. Yeah. Percentage. And then the life-changing ingredient, obviously.
Okay.
I want to go slimy and hey,
And I mean, based on your last comment about it looks like what you're doing, do you think a lot of people know what they're doing? Or all just
not
freestyling?
really. I don't think so. I think we're just making it up as we go. I think we're living in a very, very unusual times where you can't anticipate or expect anything. So as we go, so that's why we all don't know what we're doing. And also no one is making it out alive anyway. So you have to put in more ice because before and then
Are we still adding more
this
things
is
to
tonic. Get tonic. Wabana blue. Blue. Chancing ne blue. Hore. Ala. Yes. Look at the color. I never. Not even at your favorite bar. Not even at your favorite. They won't. Yo, combo. Eka rika. Yeah, give vodka. Dash guy.
You just put that.
Hey, get you concentrate. It's concentrated here. Dianza, ke manyana mojwana man kitse bojalwa. Gingelina.
Nice. So are you
Gingelina.
gonna stir it?
You don't stir this.
Oh. So the point is to make it through.
So the
dash and
whole
then-
reason why there's so much ice, that's why you don't have to stir. So you have your syrup in the middle. It's actually syrup, not lemonade. You have your syrup in the middle. You have your vodka at the bottom, and then you have the light part. So when you consume, you start here with the sweet part, and hanzoya wa hudua. Ga e le gore motho o huduang. Otherwise, you can do it manually.
Okay.
Wa bona ya senya.
So anybody from the floor who wants to taste Tsholo's cocktail
Yes.
from the School of Mixology of the Streets?
Who wants to have a taste of my gingelina? Of course, go ahead, I get. Yes, it had to be another Tswana girl. Motswako. Tshwantse o itukunye girl. Yes, and then. Hey, we man.
Go tletse bojalwa ka. Oh, sorry.
Wa complain. Ke sa ntla ke utlwa motho a complain like too much alcohol.
Is it? Okay, cool. Well done, Tsholo.
Jo. I've been betrayed
No, it's not.
by a fellow Tswana person.
9 out of 10.
My makeshift mixologist, Tsholo.
I come here to bring you life-changing things. This is what you say to me.
I'm here for it. You know, I'm here for anyone who owns the streets of mixology. And well done to Gaya, for putting her life on anyone.
She's a vibes
who's here
girl.
for
She
a good
gets it.
time, not for a long time. So people know you from your TikTok fame.
Yes.
How did you get into it, and did you know you were gonna blow up?
Not really. So when I started on TikTok, it was actually, I was answering a brief from a client who, for my business, had asked that I create content for their business TikTok. So obviously to then find out the user journey of the app, I had to get on the app.
Yeah.
So then I got on the app because I always thought it was just a dancing app. And then I went through it, okay, like there's just a lot that is happening. And then I started using other people's sound to make my content because now I was engaging with the thing. Next thing, jiggy, one day I used my natural voice. And then things just went haywire. Nothing expected, nothing planned.
Yeah.
And then we've just been growing since then. I think a year later, I'm sitting of over 400K followers. So, it's been crazy. It's been a lot.
Do you feel a lot of pressure and like some kind of obligation towards those 400 and something beings when that you have to create, but you also need to show up constantly, even when you just don't feel like it?
I wouldn't say it's pressure. I don't think I feel pressure. But I know I have to engage once in a while. I think the thing that a lot of people don't understand is once you amass a following on social media, whether you like it or not, there's an obligation to keep up with what brought the people here. The most important thing is for you not to stress yourself about how you go about social media. So, for instance, if I don't have nothing to say, ga ke tlo go posta.
Yeah.
Until that thing comes again, sometimes I spend weeks. And your followers will ask, where are you? Haven't seen you in a while. The next time you post content. But you don't necessarily have to put yourself in a place where you constantly have to be posting because the people want the content. It's always good to keep it within your reign, your personal reign.
And how does it feel having such a massive community that looks after your well-being? Because after the mixing, I know we definitely need people to look in. How does it feel having those people like looking in, making sure that you're good, and they rely on almost like your happiness for them to continue?
I think one thing I love about the following that I have on TikTok, the kind of relationship we have is not just come here when you're happy.
Yeah.
When I am going through it, I get on there and I am like, guys, I am going through this. This is how I feel right now. More than anything, that makes people feel like, oh, I'm not the only one.
Yeah.
So within, I think, the spec of your brand, you then become that person that we know her knows. So she's not all about the happy and the hot, and she's talked about her weight gain, she's talked about her body positivity issues, her challenges. There's just a lot that goes into there, and as long as it flows in an authentic manner, it makes it so seamless for people to relate and be like, oh, she's an actual person who's like us, who goes through the same things that we go through.
And as an actual person who goes through the same things her followers go through, You're part of the ambassadorship of Africa Rising Music Conference. What can people get from you and look forward towards? And what are you bringing to the conference?
Man, I have to take a sip of that. First of all, shout out to being ambassador. So, very excited about Africa Rising Music Conference. Very happy to be on board with a group of ambassadors that are just trailblazing in their own right.
Yeah.
And I think more than anything, I come to add in the value of women empowerment, because that's the work that I'm doing right now with my business. I run a mission-led creative consultancy called TR Concepts, and I have sonic experiences that are all feminine, so all women lineups on my events. Coming in there is just about creating a sort of seamless journey for women to grow, not just in terms of getting gigs, but also exposure internationally. You know, just bridging that gap to say, okay, there's more than the South African female DJ experience.
Yeah.
Let's take you out there, let's show you the world and show you a different kind of lens of how you can empower your brand even more than where you are right now.
Does your line of work not tire you, where you have to think about the fact that in the year of our Lord 2024, you still need to be women DJ, or you need to go creating women empowerment, versus you a being, you should be empowered by virtue of existing?
It's a lot, but I think when you call to be of service, you focus less on the it's a lot of a job, but in the okay, how far are we getting? Who's going to help us and how are we getting there? And that's been my approach to this whole thing, where I'm like, if I focus on the fact that, guys, it's been so many years and we're still here, that doesn't change anything. But if I focus on the fact that, okay, there are people that are willing to come on this journey with me and empower me and help me and give me the tools and resources that I need to move the women forward, such as the Africa Rising Music Conference, then it takes a lot of the load of...
Yeah.
Oh, it's 2024. Oh, it's going to be 2025. It's going to be 2026. It's going to be 2027. What have you done?
Yeah. And with that, for a person who lives for today, it's a great way to, I imagine your mantra is, what did I do? What have I done today, right? But what is your legacy as well? What's the kind of thing you want to leave behind?
I always say 3 things. I want my children to go, she loved us very much. I want people to go, she was very cool. That's all she did. She lived for doing cool stuff. And more than anything, I want everybody else to be like, she always paid it forward. If there's one thing about Tsholo, she always gave you an opportunity. She always gave you a chance. There was a resource. She would always, in one way or another, plug you or put you on.
And what within you has informed that kind of spirit? Like, what makes you wake up every day and go, I'm going to be a platform for everybody, or rather a gateway for everybody else to realize their dreams, realize their potential? Yeah.
I think it's the fortune of having to experience that in my life, where I got an opportunity to realize my dreams. But there's no merit in being the only one in there. You know, you've made it. You're the woman DJ. You've got the gigs. You've got the connects. But it's just you. You know, that's up there. More than anything, I think a real measure of success is when there are more successful people around you that in one way or another you played a part in them being up there. So for me, it's just that I don't want to be the only one. I don't have to be the only one. There's people with better capabilities than me. There's DJs who play better music than me, or DJ in a better way than me. Those are the people that we need to get in this space.
Cool. And I mean, so you talk about when you started, somebody informed that in you, or rather your journey was informed by those people, right? Who are some of those people? How did they do that for you? How did they give you the license to dream and exist?
So I grew up around a lot of men, a lot of guys. And in one way or another, funny enough, that's what brought on the thinking that I don't want to be the only one, because I don't want to be the only girl around guys, you know. So with the guys, it was always a thing of, but you have to do things that bring the women into the space. You know, you have to be the person that says, okay, I'm tired of being the only girl here. How can I get more women here? And essentially, that's what happened. You know, I had a group of men around me that started me in my DJing journey, but it wasn't just about that. It was also about, okay, in the future, if you're the only woman DJ, what happens when you get to the top?
Yeah. And what is the top?
The top is complete female empowerment. The top is getting as many women events as possible, so all women lined up DJs, having it be a norm. It mustn't be an August thing or once in a while thing. You know, there must be at least 5 women promoters or DJs that we know. No, we have a vibe that they have that we'll go to. I think more women making music is the top for me. We need to get more women into music production. There's too many DJs. That's amazing. Great. We don't need any more DJs. We need more producers. Women need to start making music. The top for me is essentially being able to exist within my brand, but just knowing that all the other things that I have co-created with all the other women, they're taken care of. So essentially an inheritance. I want the things that I do to be able to pass on to the DJing community so that I can take a step back and look at it from the top.
Little Tsholo sitting in the audience of Africa Rising Conference, day 1 and day 2. What are you telling her?
First of all, I am going to be moderating a talk. So I pitched a talk to the conference and they said yes. We have a sponsor that's going to be powering the talk. So number 1, it's a big responsibility, nerve-wracking as hell. Day 1 and day 2, keep your cool. Keep your cool. Everything that's going to happen has already happened. The story has already been written. You just have to show up and keep your cool.
Sorry. Just to go back on like the fact that you were saying that like, you know, we need more like female producers and like females more like in the, I guess, essentially background of the industry, right? Not necessarily having to be the face of it. Do you think that there's a specific sound that women can produce or make or even play that speaks to that narrative? Or it's just a thing of, okay, like if I'm a DJ as a female, I'm just going to play the songs that people just like to listen to, or as a DJ, I'm going to have a distinct, you know, like thing about me that people can look forward to. Like, I just want to get your commentary on that.
That's a very good question. I've actually never thought about that. That's a very good question. And now thinking about it, when you look at the producer landscape, the people that are producing have done it long enough to have a distinct sound. Women haven't been given enough of an opportunity. So to answer your question, I really think yes, they would bring a different kind of sound, distinct in their own way, simply because they haven't had the opportunity to do the thing for that long. You know, so when you do something for the first time, you're going to learn the basics and then you're going to bring then your inspiration, your creativity. And if you look at how well they're DJing, imagine if they took that energy and they were making music. That just informs you that production will be on a different completely level in terms of how we sound, how we come across, and also what inspires the music that we make.
So like looking at like, you know, your Tylers of this world, you know, that kind of like bring something fresh to the industry. Do you think like if women were to actually, you know, start producing these sounds and whatevers, would actually get to that scale of like an international recognition to say that this is a sound from South Africa, yes, but it's a sound from South Africa based on this was done by a woman or something?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, if they could do it on a DJing level, what's to stop them on a production level? You know, if we somehow along the way could find that bridge to get to the international market, just as DJs, you know, and obviously there are producers in there, but just as DJs, if you can make it on that scale, as a producer, I absolutely have no doubt that you can as well.
On the 27th and 28th, why should I come through?
27th to 28th of May, you definitely need to be at the Africa Rising Music Conference. It's going to be amazing. I'm definitely looking forward to it. Outside of the fact that I'm going to be there, I think it's a very amazing platform for anyone who is in the creativity industry, who is in the music industry, who wants to learn, who wants to build a network, who wants to go have conversations with the right people, talk to the right people. Because we can't always be sitting here and complaining about the music industry or the creativity industry and saying we need this, we need that. And then when there are spaces or platforms like this, we also don't engage. So if you're someone in the music industry, if you're in the creativity industry, if you're trying to meet people that will give you a chance at resource, a chance at tools and the knowledge that you need, you definitely need to be there. If you're an artist as well, most importantly, we need to start prioritizing artist knowledge in the music industry. You know, artists can't just be musicians; they also need to have the back end of the knowledge. So yeah, all of that good stuff, and also entertainment. You know, there's going to be the DJing aspect. There's going to be performances, which are going to be amazing. I'm going to be moderating a talk. You know, so there's just going to be a lot. You definitely need to be there.
Cool. And last but not least, taking up space and utilizing platforms that have been afforded to you. Are you voting this year?
Definitely.
And why?
Yeah, vote this year. Let go vote. Can we please go vote? I'm going to vote. Let's go out in numbers. Let's go voting. We can't also keep complaining about the load shedding, the crime, the corruption. I will run out of breath, but we know all our problems. There are many. Can we please, let's go vote. Vote for the right people. Get us out of this situation. Please. Just so that we can also say we're a part of history.
Yeah. Thank you, ma'am. That was awesome.
Thank you.